Good morning, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It's Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend settling in here in the Cheesehead TV podcast room in Midtown Manhattan. I hope everything is great wherever you are in this world, because that's what we do here at Cheesehead TV. Packers fans worldwide, not just in the U.S., not just in Wisconsin, worldwide, people. And I hope across the world you all had a great weekend. Good to see everybody in the comment section. We're still a week away from the Packers reporting for OTAs on the 23rd, a week from today, Monday. The guys will be back in the facility, on the practice field, and doing the thing that they love to do. Well, some more than others. But until then, we got a whole week to chat. Hope you guys are ready. Got things fired up here in the comment section. Good to see everybody. I love it. Look, Brandy is here, of course. Good morning. Dennis, always here. Good to see you, Dennis. Hope you're doing well. Mark Mendez is here. Mark Mendez, big talkers here, buddy. Ready to go. Ready to do that big talking that you love so much. Dancing to the music in Idaho. Good to see you, Doug. I saw some folks chatting about Aaron Jones. And I know Corey Jennerjohn had a piece up over the weekend at Cheesehead TV regarding Aaron Jones and his cap hit and his price tag and what have you. And it was, always an interesting discussion to see how fans, especially on Twitter, come to that subject. The Packers paid the going rate to retain Aaron Jones' services, and they have a very clear out after this year, which I think there's a decent chance that they exercise. But for the time being, a player of his caliber, he's worth every penny. And I know everybody, somebody in my comment, in my Twitter mentions on, I think it was Friday or Saturday, said, for the way they use him, he's not. No. I don't understand fans who kind of view it that way. Like, unless he's getting 15,000 yards and 500 touchdowns, it's a complete waste of money. No, you're paying the going rate for a very talented football player who you can utilize any which way you want. As a football team, as an offensive staff. It's so funny to me. So many Packers fans bemoaned how Mike McCarthy utilized Aaron Jones, which, by the way, in Mike's last year in Green Bay was not dissimilar to how Matt LaFleur has utilized him. We all know, we've all watched Aaron Jones and the nicks and injuries that have kept him out of the lineup for a game or two here or there. The Packers are very cognizant of trying to keep him fresh, especially down the stretch and for a playoff scenario / run. But this idea that, just cut him or just trade him and we're just going to be able to reproduce that whatever production he was giving us is just mind-blowing to me. Can you find, say, a back late in the draft? Yeah, like Aaron Jones. And when he proves he's a really good fucking football player, you pay him, at least off that first contract. Draft and develop. Look, I get it. I get the fandom in general in sports has turned into accounting classes, essentially. But Aaron Jones, talk about quintessentially carrying the G, a guy who completely represents not only himself, but the organization with class at every single turn, and is also an amazing football player. Those are guys you want to retain. You want to pay them. You don't want to go, well, we're not utilizing him enough on first downs, and we have A.J. Dillon, so we can just trade him away. Look what happened when A.J. Dillon got hurt in the playoff game. The offense, stubbed his toe a little bit. In games where Aaron Jones is not available, the offense is not as dynamic. I don't understand this kind of need or desire to just look at everything through the lens of the salary cap. It's just, to me, it's a rotten way to fan. And I'm not here to tell you how to fan, because everybody comes to the game differently. You do what you got to do, what you want to do. Hey, it's your prerogative. But for myself, it's just a rotten way to fan, man. I don't get it at all. Anyway, that's enough for my soapbox today. Good to see everybody. Aaron Harper has it. Pay Jair now. Patience, young Jedi. His payday will come. I don't think he will be on the team in 2023, but let's enjoy him in 2022. Joe, I think that's a reasonable assessment. Aaron Jones will be a Minnesota Viking in 2023. Okay, slow down, Daniel. Let's not get crazy. Chris, good morning. It's humid and disgusting. Give me football weather. Yeah, I had this discussion with my girls this weekend. They love it now. It gets humid and gross and warm, and they're all very happy, and I hate it. I just want to get to football weather ASAP. I'm with you. Absolutely. Kathleen, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Danielle. Oh, I love it. Shadid, how are you? When is trivia coming back? Good question, Jonathan. After that week when the Packers wrap up minicamp, that following week we'll probably have a 2-week stint of Packers trivia. And then I'll probably take a week off, a week or two, and then it'll be time for training camp. So deep into the summer, that's when you should look for Packers trivia to return. Oh, I got some super chats here. Don't want to miss the super chats. Let's go. Cameron, what's up, man? Drafted Christian Watson in my fantasy football dynasty rookie draft. Looking forward to his Hall of Fame career. Go Pack, go. Man, you people, I guess, yeah, that's right? Like dynasty drafts. Man, you fantasy people are crazy in the best way, in the absolute best way. I barely remember to declare my keepers the day before our draft, like in September. Man, but yeah, I mean, I think you talk about a kid with upside. You're talking about having him on a dynasty squad. Yeah, he's gonna most likely have Aaron Rodgers throwing to him for at least the first 2 years of his career. He's probably a good pickup. William, what's up, man? What we got? Do you think Green Bay has enough speed on offense? Never. They never do. But look, they have made it very clear throughout the entirety of the history of their rebirth since Ron Wolf that speed is rarely their number one priority on offense. It is usually about size, speed, athleticism. Speed can be a component of that. And every once in a while, you get a guy with, some blazing speed like MVS. And, they have hints of it here and there, but they've never been that kind of squad. It just isn't who they are. They'll scheme things up, they'll run the ball, and they'll play, hopefully, some December, January football down the stretch. But yeah, they've just never been the kind of team that looks for burners. They very much prefer to find big, tall, muscular dudes at wide receiver, running backs who can handle the elements, tight ends who can do everything, including block. But, straight line, insane, blow the doors off speed. It's just never been their calling card. And look, I know people will say, well, they haven't gotten over the hump, and I understand that, but they have won a boatload of fucking football games since Ron Wolf came in the door with this philosophy. So it's hard to sit here, at least for me, to sit here and say they don't know what they're doing. They got to have more speed. Well, they've been doing okay. Would it be nice? I remember the one year where I really hoped were going to make a certain pick was when it came to this subject was when Hollywood Brown was coming out. I remember texting with someone in the Packers organization the day of the draft, like, man, imagine Rodgers tossing one up to Hollywood Brown. They always used to joke, or last year, I think the jokes were, Mahomes, bucket Tyreek Hill's down there somewhere and chucks it. That would have been Rodgers with Brown, man. That would have been fun to watch. But it's just, like I said, never been their thing. And look at some of the issues Rodgers and MVS had as far as getting on the same page on some of those deep balls. I mean, it was rarely a, always in sync kind of thing. So who knows, man? It's just not their bread and butter. But like I said, they certainly know how to play offense, and they certainly know how to score points and win football games. Big Daddy Cool Breeze, what's up, man? Having a child with ASD, have you thought about getting her a service dog? Well, that might happen when we end up getting the dog for Olive. We'll see. No, we've talked about it with her school. But when we were living in a small apartment on 23rd, it just didn't make sense. But yeah, it's something that's been discussed. Definitely. Morning, Nags. Did you say there is some animosity between Za'Darius and some of the Green Bay players? Seems like we are missing something about what went down with him. Any inside info on that? Jeremy, I have no inside info other than I know that when he signed with the Vikings, I got a text from someone in the building saying, good luck dealing with Z. He does sound like he's a bit of a handful. And, I don't think we'll ever know what really went down last year in regards to, I know there were reports that, when he went and had that surgery that he kind of went MIA. Like the Packers didn't even know where he was for a stretch. As for like him and the guys in the locker room, I haven't heard anything in that regard. And any kind of friction I've heard with Za'Darius and the Packers has been about the player and the organization. I haven't heard a thing about the players. That doesn't mean there isn't something there. I mean, when there's smoke, maybe there's a little fire, but I haven't been privy to any of that. I've only heard it from the organization standpoint. Alex, what's up, man? Any trade market for Jordan Love right now? I doubt they could get a first-round pick for him, but maybe a second or third if a team is interested enough. Alex, why do you want to trade Jordan Love? Ask yourself that question. And if it comes back to trying to get some value for him, just go back to sleep. He's much more valuable as a backup quarterback in Green Bay than he is some future speculative second or third round pick. So much more valuable. I don't understand it. And Alex, I don't mean to come down on you, but I mean, it's the offseason and this is what people talk about. I understand, but Jordan Love is your backup. You're developing him. He's going into year 3. He's entering like probably the best part of his young career. And you want to just give him away for a draft pick? That makes no sense to me. Draft and develop. I don't get it. I don't get it. Carl, what's up, man? Good morning. I really hope Darnell Savage's consistency improves this year. Man, if he could string those flash plays together, it'd be something. Yeah, and here's the thing, Carl. I don't think you talk about flash plays, that would be great. Don't get me wrong, but I don't even need flash plays one after the other. I just need, to your point, more consistency across the board. There are plenty of times where he's in position and he makes a, somewhat routine play. We just need more of that more than anything else. Now, would you prefer big splash plays, big turnover plays? Of course, but just kind of bring that floor up a little bit. A little bit more consistency across the board from not only week in and week out, but like series in and series out. And then I think, there'll be a decent chance that they extend him. But, there were times last year where it was really rough when it came to the consistency. And I don't even think he was terribly out of position or made like a bad read or, there were some stretches of some suspect tackling, no doubt about that. But overall, I thought his play was solid, just like you're saying, just inconsistent. He's got to be more consistent. And we saw 2 years ago some glimpses of that. He's really got to kind of string that together on a week in, week out basis. Now, who knows? Maybe year 2 in a new scheme that will help some, familiarity there. Who knows how, having those 2 backers on the field most of the time maybe lets him settle into a role a little bit more. Helps with the consistency, but I'm with you, man. There was a lot of up and down last year, no doubt. Jeff, what's up, man? I'm all for finding vet leadership, but every time we sign an aging vet, we take reps from a younger player. Slows D&D. Yeah, I hear you. Now, it's a fine line, right? And it's the kind of thing that Ted was always obviously kind of anathema to bringing in guys for that very reason, right? But I will also swing it around and point out things like Devondre Campbell and or Rasul Douglas. I mean, you can bet. I would put heavy money on if last year had happened under Ted's watch, instead of going and getting Rasul Douglas off someone's practice squad, he would have just elevated Kabion Ento and away they go. And we would have been treated to Kabion Ento trying to man up guys in the playoffs. Flashbacks of Ladarius Gunter back in the day, and I love Ladarius. Nothing against Ladarius, but I don't, I understand the wanting to get reps for the young guys. You bring in a vet, it kind of dulls that. But at some point, you got to win football games. And getting guys who have played around the league, has some starts under their belt, etc. I think it's the world's worst thing. It's a balancing act of that. There's no doubt. But yeah, I mean, it just can't be a blanket thing. And I think that's what hurt Ted, especially as his tenure went on. It's like he was just so, and I know this. I know Brian, Elliott, Alonzo many times would come to Ted with like, let's look at this guy. We should bring this guy in. And Ted was almost always just against that idea. And I think, I like where Brian is as far as I think he walks a good line of bringing in guys who are going to help and have a little bit of experience, but not at the detriment of, like you're talking about, getting reps for young guys and bringing guys along and letting guys develop. I think that's a real balancing act for any GM, and I think Brian's done a pretty damn good job of it. Brett, what a super chat. Brian Balaga, Iowa. Amazing. Chris, what's up, man? He just needs to capitalize on those opportunities. Correct. That is very correct. Marshall, what's up, man? To the people who want these players traded, you should tell them to simultaneously offer a better specific alternative. People and their need for constant roster turnover, I don't get it. I mean, some of it is the age we live in, right? As far as like fantasy football, we were just talking about somebody with a dynasty draft, and the coverage of the draft has seeped into every aspect of NFL fandom. So people are constantly, that's worrying in their minds. Whereas myself, I come to it like, this is the team, man. This is my team. Once you're a Packer, I love you, man. You're a Green Bay Packer. And now, are there points and times where trading somebody might make sense? Yeah, of course. But yeah, to your point, they just seem to want to constantly just wheel and deal all the time. And it's like, no, man, you're constructing the roster. And to the point of some offer a better specific alternative. I mean, the gentleman before was asking about trading for a draft pick, which to me, again, I understand wanting to stockpile picks, but that's all you're doing. Stockpiling picks. You still got to make the selection and have it turn out and develop the player, as opposed to having a quarterback who's entering the third year of your system, who's young and so young still, by the way. I said it already. I'm not going to say it again, but yeah, it just kind of baffles me. Alex is back. What's up, man? I don't really want Love traded, but heard Goody's comments recently. Love's future with the team seems murky at best and didn't know his market value. I mean, it's hard to gauge market value when the guy's barely played. And, we clearly saw the Packers use a first-round selection on him, and there's very little doubt that they're not going to get that back. So, and I think if it was going to happen, it was going to happen during the draft or leading up to the draft. I can't imagine it's going to happen now. Now, he plays in the summer. He plays lights out. He creates a bunch of buzz. We'll revisit it next year. And then I think there's a chance he gets Matt Hasselbeck or Aaron Brooks. No doubt about it. But right now, he's a third-year dude entering in, a very important training camp. We'll see how he progresses. Josh sitting in Florida. Brandy, I love it. Who does Brandy hate more, Mike Pettin or Ty Summers? Whew, Mike. That's a question. Brandy's here. I'll let her answer that. Too old for this. What's up, man? Chelsea put up a good fight, but go Reds. I was having such a good morning. The nanosecond that went to penalties, I knew it was over. If Pulisic just converts one of those chances. Why gotta bring me down, man? Why you gotta bring me down on a Monday? It's already Monday. I don't need you bringing me down. Packers have been drafted and developed for a long time now, and before that, a farm team. But players never seem to have better careers after leaving Green Bay. So what's that say about the team? That they have a really good system that knows how to take advantage of the talent that they have on hand. You're welcome for playing. Thanks a lot. Drive safe. Let's see what we got. Nuclear Family, what's up, man? How important are pre-draft interviews? Have you heard of anyone who either was drafted or not drafted due to the interview? Were we lucky with Jair? I don't quite get that last part. They met with Jair at the combine. They just didn't have a follow-up. They're important to get the sense of the dude. It's hard in the sense of getting to know someone in any realistic way in one of those combine settings, but that is why they have the 30 visits pre-draft. And even Brian, intimated this year that the selections that they made, they did end up taking a lot more, but a few more guys than usual when it comes to guys that they did have in to the facility or one of the 30 pre-draft kind of visits. It's important. It's not, the tape is the most important. I think a large part of it is what a director told me a long time ago when I was first starting in New York City as an actor. When you go into the door, you start talking to the director and the casting agent, whatever. And in this instance, and it's pretty similar, the head coach, the GM, what have you. first 30 seconds to a minute, you got a pretty good sense of whether you want to work with this guy or not. You know, you're going to be spending a lot of time together. In my case, it was like, we're going to be spending, weeks, months on the road. Is this guy an asshole? Am I going to be able to hang out with him? I mean, sounds funny, but it's true. You got to work with these people. So, and again, is that the be all end all? Is that the deciding factor? Of course not. But it's all part and parcel. It's all pieces of information. Now a big part of it is their football acumen, putting them on the whiteboard, what's their football IQ and stuff like that. But it's also getting to know the guy. But as far as the Packers go, like guys bombing interviews to the point where they don't get drafted because of it, that I haven't heard about. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened, but I know the Packers are pretty tight-lipped about that kind of stuff. So I don't think it would get out if that were the case. But that's a good question. Chris, what's up? Sorry, I was referring to Savage in that. Yeah, I know, baby. He's always around the ball in position to make plays, but doesn't capitalize, like the big play versus Jamar Chase. I agree, man. What's funny is like 2 years ago, he did a better job of that. Last year, there were a couple of times where he was in position and just didn't make the play. Hopefully, like I said, year 2 in the system, a little more comfortable. Hopefully that gets him a few more big play opportunities that he can close in on. Marshall, what's up, man? Packers' best cornerback other than Woodson since 2000? Woo. I got to say Jair Alexander. After that, I'd probably put Tramon Williams. And it's real close. But those would be the two, but I would say. Okay, Dave, you get the last one here. Super chat. For years, O-linemen drafted to Green Bay step into a position group with excellent veteran leaders. That has to help development. Yeah, no question. You've heard David Bakhtiari talk about that a lot when it comes to Sitton and Lang and the guys he had to look, and Bulaga, of course, who's still a good friend of his. Yeah, there's no question. And I think the Packers have done a pretty damn good job of having a good mix in that regard. They do a wonderful job of growing their offensive line, but they've done so with a mix of guys who've been there for 3 or 4 years, coupled with some rookies, younger players, and letting them grow together. I think they've done a phenomenal job. I mean, the proof is in the pudding on the field there, year in and year out. Even like last year when they have all those injuries, I think whatever the special sauce is that Green Bay is doing along the offensive line, it is certainly working. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you enough for hanging out and talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family, Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day. Go Pack Go.